How you doing? I am about ready to. There's been some things that's been on my mind with things that have come out, and I'm going to go over a little bit of segment for you. Again, it's the emotional mind, it's the healthy mind. It's what I like to go over, and a lot of this has to do with brain science, right? And emotional science. And emotional science is very important. So um, let's get right to it, and let's talk about what we are doing here. And I hope you gave to put this up because this is the diagram I'm going to use. And if it's hard for you to see, I'm going to try to bring this in a little bit closer because basically this is the brain up again. And if those of you don't understand the brain, let's go with a little bit of an outline here. um, so hopefully you can see that outline, because we are in a time where voting is important. Voting is it means so much about voting in your local elections, about voting in your primaries, voting, because everything we've known and everything we do has something to do with voting, right? And you know this. And with approximately about 85 days left for the election, there is going to be some words, and I've talked about this before about healthy mind. There's going to be words being used that has some effect on you, whether you know it or not. And that effect means a lot to me, because when people are using words to harm you, either intentionally or unintentionally, you're the only one that will see or feel the harm. You're the only one that's going to feel and see the harm, and that's knowing now thyself. So when we talk about fear, anger, and violence, those are the three things I want to focus on right now: fear, anger, and violence. Now, fear, when we talk about the fear, we talk about right here, and that we know is the amygdala, right? We know that the fear is it because it brings you back into your lower life existence, your survival existence. All these will stay right here in that lower existence of how do I survive? Shootings going on in Chicago. Things are happening very fast in the news, and you're trying to stay away from it. This evening I'll have Mental Health Mondays, and I have mental health panels on the weekends with some amazing people. We're talking about women's health, men's mentoring. We're working on that. But I want to talk to you about the science of what's going on. Because every time we talk about know who you are and awareness, and you heard this so much all before, and this is so much, and there's so much about this, from the womb to the tomb, from the day you were born, who are you, right? Right? What is your conception of who you are is important, because now that we're hearing words about I'm not even going to get into the types of socialism, dictatorships, communism, all this other stuff. I'm not talking about political jargon and words, but the words have an effect on you, and you must know how that effect is affecting you. How those words are being used. Are they bringing you into where you are not able to use the frontal part, the frontal lobe of your brain, right? That's why when we say you listen to something, you got to breathe, because down here in the brain stem, where in the brainstem, that's where the signals go to the brain. Go to the body. It sends signals to the body, and then your body has a response. All your organs will have a response to those signals if you're only acting in the fear, anger, violence. Your body is only going to be prepared to fight or flight or be frightened, right? We need you to understand that your control centers are being manipulated by words. Words being used specifically to target right here in the formex, right? And right in here, it is targeting. Words are targeting right there, so you can start reacting in here. So you can start de-reacting, unbeing aware of what your body, because once it goes here and it gets into the brainstem, it's going to send signals to your body. This is important. This is the factor I'm trying to get you to understand. And this is what we're talking about throughout all of our histories in life, about the martial sciences, about understanding where you at. Because in a defensive action and a communicative action and a saving life, if something goes on where you can save a life, protect a life, give a life, all those things are happening. We need you to be up here where you call it is consciousness, right? We need you to be in the active part of consciousness and not let the subconscious down here in the amygdala, where fear, anger, and violence, the lower level of life form reaction. The lower level, that is where you are resulted down just to being reactive. That's why I do emotional reactive training. Understanding, people talk about diversity and a lot of things, and we'll talk about that later another time, and understanding someone else. Who are you when you meet someone? We're not even talking about the color of their skin. We're not talking about their politics. We're not even talking about their gender. We're not talking about their height. Are you in a fear-based, anger-based, violence-based part of your brain? Do you understand the signals in your frontal lobe of why you are feeling the way you are feeling with the person you are talking about, or in a relationship with, or in the environment with? If you don't understand all this, then the awareness is shot. You are completely being dumped, and all the signals that's going into your body is triggering all that sickness. More to come. More to come. More to come. We have an opportunity to understand what you are able to do, what you can do, and where you are in doing it. Don't get the information you want for voting, find out who your candidate is, dig into the local elections, find out who's supporting your Board of Education, find out where your kids go to school, who's on your Board of Ed, who's on your local, who's your sheriff. Voting, voting, voting. Knowledge is information. This information is built for you. It is made for you. But they're counting on you to stay in this fear, anger, violence base. And as long as you stay there, then you have to respond to what I'm telling you. This is your act to live and fight for your freedom, your emotional freedom. your self freedom, your family's freedom. I don't care about the decisions you make as long as you know that the conscious decisions you're making, you understand. Use it. Don't get sucked into the fear base, the anger base, because that's only going to harm you. Don't get sucked into it. This is your time. This is our time. This is a small snippet. I'm Dr. Paul Dyer, Grandmaster Dyer. You have an opportunity to be the best person you can. You can always catch me on my Apple and iHeart podcasts. Catch me on my YouTube channel. You can always contact me at drpaulholisticscience.com. Please, let's dig into our personal awareness so we can understand out who we are and what we need to do. Because we're in the fight for our lives. You understand? And the fight for your life is that you must be part of the living, not the surviving, to fight for it. God bless.